to The Forge, Senior Radio Operator, and it's time for more play-by-play action. The story today begins in a quiet forest in the mountains. A marksman lives a solitary lifestyle in the deepest regions of the woods. He is about to understand the true meaning of terror, because the hunter is about to become the hunted in the altered space. The wind rustles the trees as a man with a plaid coat walks briskly towards a small cabin with firewood in one hand and a hatchet in the other as the sun begins to set. The man walks into the cabin and sets the wood and the hatchet down next to the fireplace. He takes his coat off and puts it on a hook on the wall just before rubbing his hands together. He walks over to a small cabinet next to a mounted bear head on the wall and begins looking for something. A monstrous noise comes from deep within the woods. The man jerks his head toward the front window, disturbed by the unfamiliar noise. He turns and reaches for a double-barreled shotgun leaning on the wall close to the door. The man grabs the knob, but hesitates to open the door. He takes a deep breath before walking outside. The deep blue sky silhouettes the almost black outline of evergreen trees. The man squints his eyes slightly, trying to make out a small, ominous, dark, obscured figure as it moves through the deep, dark forest. A tingling sensation goes down the man's spine as the figure moves out of view. He tries to comprehend what could possibly be lurking behind the tree line. He slowly and fearfully backs away towards the cabin door, when suddenly a crunching noise comes from behind the house. The man runs for the door and slams it behind him. He frantically grabs a chair and pushes it up against the door with the shotgun still in his hand. He sighs with relief before tensing up again as he walks slowly towards the front window. He watches intensely for anything to come into view, but nothing does. He listens for what could be lurking out of his field of view, but can hear nothing but silence. Hours pass, and dusk turns to night, and not a sound comes forth from beyond the four wooden walls. Time agonizingly ebbs away as the man sits in a chair next to the fireplace, eyes wide open as he stares at the barricaded door. Then, just as he closes his eyes and begins to doze off, a deafening thud on the roof breaks the silence. The man violently jerks awake. He gets to his feet and grabs his gun. He quietly steps towards the spot underneath the roof where he heard the noise. He anxiously waits for more, but the silence of the forest returns. Frustrated and confused, the tired man walks back to his chair, trying his best to stay awake. The altered space will return after these messages. Have you ever lost track of time? Are your alarm clocks never waking you up? The newest creation from Lazy Man Studios can help you get back on track. It's called the Time Crunch. This revolutionary device attaches to your head and applies pressure to your cranium to let you know immediately when you have someplace to be. No need to worry about ignoring this alarm. Time Crunch exerts up to 400 foot-pounds of pressure to your skull to make sure you never forget what's important. It just might be the last alarm you'll ever need. Contact us about our monthly special, where you can get your very own time crunch with special edition metal jaws and charging cable for 10% off. Seize the time with Time Crunch. Please sign liability waiver before use. Contact medical professionals if Time Crunch does not come off or kills you. Welcome back to Altered Space. Our solitary hunter is still sitting in his chair when the sun breaks over the horizon to start a new day. The light begins to brighten up the trees with shades of yellow and orange, and the dew on the grass glistens in the first rays of sunlight. The door to the cabin opens, and the man peeks his head outside. Slowly, he walks forward, subtly looking around the corner of the small cabin. His gaze meets with no one, and he begins to sigh with relief. The man stretches his arms out and yawns quietly. Maybe it was all a dream, the man says, as he starts on a trail leading away from the cabin. The trail zigs and zags through thick forest, shade blanketing the ground with specks of light peeking through. The man, still tired, trudges down a small hill on the path. Something out of the corner of his eye catches the man off guard. He turns his head quickly with wide eyes to find only a shadow of a tree. The man looks down, frustrated, and puts his hands to his face. He turns and begrudgingly walks towards a clearing at the end of the dirt path. The trail opens up to a field with a small, old, rusted-out pickup truck sitting at the end of a gravel road. Just as the man walks out of the forest, a dark, clouded figure comes up from behind him and grabs his shirt. The man turns around and screams at what he sees behind him. He frantically breaks free from it and runs for the truck. The creature is right behind him, reaching out at his legs. He runs past the shadow of the tree and into the bright morning sun. The monster is gone. The man looks behind him and sees nothing there. Out of breath, the man grabs his knees, looking on, astonished at the empty path behind him. Paranoid, he now makes his way hastily to the truck. What lurks below you every day of your life? From the time you are born to the day you die, it will always be there. The shadow. It watches you grow and change. But what does it think of you? Where does it go when you are in the dark? Mankind has always lived in fear of what it cannot see. What if that fear was a rational one? It is wise for all to be mindful to stay in the light and never trust the shade, because you might find that darkness is just next door to the altered space.